We got another blue belt battle on our hands. We got Gavin in the white, a fan favorite, and we got Rob in the black. I knew this would be a high action affair, but neither one of these guys know how to take a break. They don't take a rest. They just go, go, go. Provides for some good action. So Gavin pulls guard, locks Rob up in a close guard. Good strategy by Gavin. You want to start the match in control. Get to a position you're comfortable in. He opens his guard. Rob is looking to work by the knees. Now he jumps by to turtle really quickly. Throws a hook in. Looks like he might briefly have that other hook in, but he takes it out and attacks the arm. That was really close to having points, but I think that was just a bit of a tactical mistake by Rob. See, he gets the right foot in. At this point, he should be looking to get that second hook in and just really establish his position. It's not wrong that he tried to switch to the arm lock, but if it were me, I'd really just focus on the position. It's so early in the match that it's going to be hard to submit a guy of equal skill level this early, so you really got to drain some of his energy. Instead, he switched to the arm lock here and very nearly got it to work. He flips Gavin over, but we all know how tough Gavin is to arm lock. Watch how he's able to kind of push that leg off of his head and start to come up. He relieves the pressure. Rob's forced to transition on top. And I think I've caught on to Gavin's strategy of let my opponent try to armbar me and he'll tire himself out. But let's see how he does it here. Rob is threatening on the arm. He gets Gavin to flip over. Gavin's briefly posted on his head. Now Rob uses the momentum to knock him over. Now he seemingly has the arm lock dead to rights. But Gavin has a sneaky little defense of lifting his shoulder and then pushing the foot off. Now his head's free. That means there's no pressure on the arm lock. Not as much pressure on the arm lock, and it often will lead to an escape. It forced Rob to go on top and see how Gavin kind of snuck out the back door. He used his other hand. He's able to get away from him. And now Rob's still on top. He's still trying to stay outside of the legs. Briefly goes to north-south. Gavin's comfortable in turtle, so he transitions to turtle. Here's a common situation from turtle. When the guy on bottom ends up on a single leg. Gavin's quite good at this. He gets the single leg, he goes to turn the corner, and Rob responds by trying to attack the far arm. And it's really Rob's best bet because he's got single leg, but now he switches to the submission. You can often use submissions to defend takedowns. Now, he looked like he was thinking about the Kimura. He could also potentially go back to the arm lock, but Gavin escaped his head out the back door again, and he immediately chases the back. Watch again. Gavin's going to attach himself to a leg. It's really difficult to do anything to the guy when you're attacking turtle when he has his hands locked around one of your legs. The best thing to do is what Rob did, is to just not accept the takedown, but just try to not fight it 100% and see how he's reaching with his left hand to try to open up Gavin's elbow. That's going to lead to him securing the Kimura grip. If I were Rob in this situation, I'd really try to lock that Kimura. He should be looking to grab Gavin's wrists with his right hand. He throws the right leg over. Now it looks like he has it locked up, but Gavin's hand was in position to defend. Instead, he moved his leg out of the way. It looks like he's trying to maybe turn it into more of an arm lock, because obviously he's comfortable escaping those. And from here, Gavin's going to slip his head out the back. Rob briefly lost control, and then Gavin has good instincts to right away. He tries to grab the waist, and Rob does a nice kind of counter roll because you don't want to give your back to your opponent. So that was a nice little transition. Now Gavin's playing on top for the first time in half guard. Gavin's pushing that leg away, stepping around. Nice. He secures the guard pass. He's got Rob's back pinned to the floor. He gets his 3 points. Now, right now it'd be 3-0 for Gavin, but it could be 4-3 if Rob would have had that hook in for an extra second and secured the points. But he hit a nice bridge over to change his position, but Gavin flowed with it and went to the back. That's the thing with these bridging escapes. They can work really well, especially if you're a little bit bigger or you got momentum, but it can kind of blow up in your face where this situation, Rob wanted to bridge Gavin over. He almost got it, but Gavin was able to stop his momentum. And now look, he's basically about to take Rob's back because he tried to bridge him over. He's got one hook in. Looks like he's working for the other hook. In Gavin's situation here, he needs to just lock onto a seatbelt, keep his head in good position, and just start to wear Rob out and drain some of his energy. He secured his 4 points for the back. If Gavin could move his hips back over Rob's hips, that would be really good. He wants to try to flatten him out. He's got him briefly flattened out here, but Rob goes back up to his knees. He's trying to turn and get to his side, which is a smart choice. You don't want to be flattened out. Rob should be looking for 2-on-1 grips on Gavin's wrist and trying to pop the grip off. Looks like Gavin's trying to transition to a bow and arrow choke. He wants to grab a little bit closer to the knee so he can kind of pull his body a bit more. The hip grip can work, but it's not the best. Gavin's doing a real good job of just staying glued to his opponent. It's very frustrating when you're trying your best to get someone off your back and you feel like you're almost getting somewhere, and then they just retake your back and just lock back on there. Very frustrating. So now Gavin looks like he's got his grip. He goes for the bow and arrow. He's got to lean more weight forward and then sit back. If he could kind of step up onto his right foot, free his left leg and sit back. But Rob was able to roll with it. But Gavin recovered nicely again. He's got him in danger again. He's reset his position. Always important to keep that chest to back connection very tight when you're on someone's back. That's the main thing that you're worrying about. Psychologically, too, in a competition or a tournament scenario, the guy's on your back. Every second that ticks by is just a second when you're on defense and he's on offense, right? Time is very valuable when you're on competition. Most matches are 5-6 minutes. So if the guy spends 2 minutes on your back, that means he has 4 points. He likely has a lead, and he's draining the clock. Even if you don't get submitted, you don't want to spend the whole match with the guy on your back. It means you've probably done very little offensively. You've got to try to escape and then build up your points. But that can be very difficult to do. If the guy gets a couple points on you, gets on your back, holds you there for a few minutes, and then you escape, it can be very deflating. But you can see Rob has the heart of a champion. He's just not going to give up. He's able to slightly improve his position and get to mount, and now he's able to bridge Gavin over. So Gavin made the smart choice of still keeping dominant position. He went from back to mount, but his left arm looks like it's either trapped or he's got a hold of Rob's head, and that let Rob hit that bridge. Gavin's got to be ready to base out with that hand. Now from here, they're getting a little bit away from the camera, but in that scramble, Gavin was forced to go to turtle again, and Rob got on top. You can tell Rob really likes the scrambles, and he's found some success offensively when he's able to force Gavin to turtle. He's just got to slow it down a little bit. From here, he could maybe go guillotine. He could kind of just try to torture him with the front headlock and wear him out. But Gavin made a real nice recovery into the half guard. Nice transition to the coyote half guard. That was a beautiful guard recovery by Gavin. I'd like to see more of that. See, he reaches. He's got a hold of Rob's leg with his right hand. Now he steps his foot up, shoots the left knee in, and he keeps chasing. That Rob tried to keep his feet away from him, but see, Gavin keeps chasing him, and then he steps over, and now he's got his foot locked. Now he's got the proper half guard, and he's on his side, and he's got a nice, real deep underhook. But Rob made a nice counter by trying to center him up. That makes it really, really tough to play that coyote half guard when the guy tries to center you up and puts your back on the floor. Remember, with bottom half guard, you want to be more on your side than on your back. You're going to be a lot more effective if you're on your side, especially if you're propped up on your elbow. And now Rob made a nice transition around the legs again. Now he's on top, attacking turtle. You can see Gavin's going to try to manage the distance a bit better. You always want to have your hands and your feet connected. More points of connection, the better, right? So to avoid the guy getting around the legs, he's got to really look to keep feet on the hips or shoulders or sleeve grips. You got to keep them tied up. But in the meantime, Gavin escaped his foot, and now he's in mount. And now he does have an underhook on Rob's left arm. He could potentially look to finger walk his right hand up. If he can get Rob's elbow above his shoulder line, he could set up an arm triangle or an arm lock. Rob is able to bridge him over again. Rob's attacking on top. And it's funny enough, I've been watching a lot of John Danaher's half guard series, and it just rings true why Gavin's getting bridged over for mount. Because Danaher says, if you don't want to get bridged over, you need to be perpendicular. Think about getting bridged over from side control versus getting bridged over from mount. Getting bridged over from mount happens a lot. It's happened probably 2 or 3 times in this match alone. But Gavin didn't get bridged over from side control. Why? Because he was perpendicular and not parallel. If you're parallel with your opponent, like you are when you're in mount, it's going to be easier for him to bridge you. That's why you really have to know what you're doing and be able to base out to stop him from doing it. But nonetheless, that was a great victory. I was super excited to see Gavin get his first win in competition. And what a blue belt battle. Also, great job by Rob.